All right, so we're getting ready to launch the first round of Operation Torch between Fame and Panzer. We're playing on Sand River for this operation. And we'll call it the tanks when we get into the lobby, but did I see what I think I saw there, Vanilla?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very unfortunate. We did the timer, everything was proper, but unfortunately, Panzer is short 2 tanks. 2 chieftains, 2 E5s, and a bat chat. 2 tanks down. Fame side, a T100, 3 bat chats, and 3 IS7s. Now, I mean, all things aside, I really like that lineup for Fame.
Yeah, I have yet to see a tier 10 light being played in this.
I've used it on this map. We did a friendly scrim, and I've used it on this map before in a friendly practice scrim, and it was really fun to play on this map. You could the view range is great. Like you can see over the dunes and everything, and you start flying around and jump in the dunes. It's so much fun to play on this map. Clutch Force getting a quick shot in on the chieftain back there. They're gonna bleed out some of those tanks from the top hill with the bat chats. All 5 Panzer tanks coming down the same channel here, and Fame has chose Murder S98 as their first victim. Focus fire's big for this team. Fame's holding the corner of the dune here, not letting them push up any farther from there. And Clutch Force in the T100 has gone around to the rear. He's going to take out, he's looking to finish off Murder and turn AGI Karma to around so his gun's out of the front line as well. Here he goes. Jumps the little dune, gets the shot, dodges the shot from Karma. He's going to circle him here. I love it. I love watching light tanks. Hits the track. Perfect track. He's just going to circle tight on him. The gun can't keep up when he's stationary. A little reversey. Dodges another shot. Look at it. In the background, you still have all the action. Don't be missing that because the rest of Fame's team is cleaned up. But it comes down to just Karma, and Clutch Force was dancing all around him. Zoom in. 3 stars on that T100. That's pretty impressive. The tank's only been out for about 2 months, less than 2 months. So excellent round for Fame. It's unfortunate that Panzer did not have all their tanks selected. So a perfect 41 points for Fame out of that round, and none for Panzer. Fame coming out with 2,000 damage from 3 of their tanks, including the T100. But with 2 tanks less in the battle to begin with, the damage counts are kind of, don't really represent what it would have been if it was 7v7. There's easily 4,000 damage less to spread around. So, with that, we will switch sides and set up for round 2. So we're already here. They've all picked their tanks. They didn't even wait for the timer this time. They didn't want to be. Nobody wanted to be short tanks. So Fame's come back out with 3 bat chats, a T100, 2 IS7s, but they traded in their extra IS7 for a Girl 15. Panzer's got 2 bat chats, an IS7, 2 E5s, and 2 chieftains. So, what was it they were missing from last time? Was it one of the bat chats and the IS?
Last time.
Pretty sure they had the Murder was in the chieftain. He was the one that got singled out.
Oh, okay. 7 seconds.
All right, we've got Axes on the left, Panzer, and Fame on the right. They are the allies. Birds are chirping, middle of the desert. I don't know if you heard that, but there must be a bunch of birds in
Yep.
those trees because all I heard was squawking.
Sometimes you hear chickens. It's really weird.
There's a location on tundra near one of the edges of the map where you can hear the Halloween wolves howling.
Which I think it sounds like the whales off of like Finding Nemo or whatever when Dory's talking whale.
No, it's the wolves. Like, remember when you're in the
Yeah, I
Halloween
know,
mode?
but oh yeah, it just sounds like I'm
It,
Finding
it
Nemo, the whales.
yeah. So Clutch Force does a bit of a spotting run there, Cress, and finds out that all of Panzer has gone into the open or the upper hills. But Fame said, no, we're not doing that side of the map this time. We're going to go all the way around. So they got their batch hats running through the dunes. They got their heavies coming to the middle. They're going to take that that spot right here on the edge of that hill. It's a great spot to hold down because it really forces them to come to you if you just back into the gully. They've also got their grill situated at the far back. The grills at TD I don't see chosen very often, but it kind of makes sense for a map like this where you've got long view
Yeah.
range lanes and the ability to just fall back behind a dune if you are detected. Fame putting the cap pressure on. I think that's Clutch Force that has done a couple pot shot damages to the two Panzer tanks. Did you catch that?
No, I'm just looking in the chat here. This Panzer Clan is not very happy.
Fame just making the bell ring. They've got situated so that if Panzer pushes them, they're gonna pounce on whatever tank pushes first. Right now, Expected Pain has moved forward, and Fame is just waiting for him to inch forward just a little bit too far, and you're gonna see him pounce on him. The rest of Panzer staying back. What do you think about this positioning here?
I like how Fame is. They're kind of spread out a little bit, but they're on pretty quick tanks to get back to each other if anyone has any problems. I wonder if they're gonna contest the flag.
Fame is really putting that cap pressure on, and Panzer's trying to call the bluff, but eventually, the timer's gonna get down to 30 seconds, and what are they gonna do?
Yeah, they don't really seem interested in the cap at this point. I think they're kind of stuck.
Both teams are positioned so defensively that nobody wants to move, but Fame's saying, hey, we'll take 20 points, we'll win 20-0 here. If anyone's unaware, the point system for this event is 20 points for the round win, 2 points for every kill, 1 point for every tank you have survived. So I guess technically it'd be 27 points because they have 7 tanks left alive as well. Expected plane down to half health. They're just bleeding him out a little bit as he peeks forward. Clutch Force getting one extra shot into him. At this point now, he's a one shot when he backs up from Parko. He's gonna drop into the dune. I think Parko's got a shot on him. Nope. Clutch Force gets one more in. Expected plane's going to hide in the buildings there. We'll give him a little bit of cover, but Marco comes in to cover for Expected Pain as Expected Pain sneaks away at the back there. It's a good trade in there for him to keep that gun in the game, but I think Expected Pain took a lot more damage than he really should have. Fame taking out the E5 for Panzer. Now they have a 1 tank lead and a 34% health advantage. Fame has not taken any damage yet. They're bleeding the other E5 in the city here. Little village. And here comes the move. They're up a lot of health and they're up a gun. They're going to single out Karma as he's overextended himself.
And alone, really.
I'm surprised he's lasted this long, really.
Yeah.
Parkos. There we go. Mr. APCR takes him down. The Chieftain goes down. The Bat Chat went down as well. The Bat Chat Expected Pain is still left alive, hiding in the hills. The T-100's hunting him down. And Murder in the Chieftain is trying to get behind the dune before Magna Flashboy crests and comes around over to him. There you go. Up in the top corner, T-100 took out the Bat Chat. Now we've got Magna Flashboy and Murder in the Chieftain 1v1.
Ooh.
Support fire coming in from the far away. Off in the distance, you just saw the rest of Fame mob the IS-7 in the gully over there. And it's 7v1 now for Murder.
That's it.
And Fame gets another 41-point game, make it 82-0. Damage spread pretty good there. The only one really not getting damage was Mr. APCR. I caught that single kill he got on camera though, so. We'll switch sides and get ready for round 3. All right, we're going into round 3. Operation Torch. This is Fame versus Panzer. We're playing on Sand River. Fame has done 2 perfect rounds so far against Panzer, 41 points each round. Makes things really easy to count. Fame on the left in red, representing the Allies in this battle. They've brought their T-100 back out again. Clutch Force has played that every round so far. They're back to the 3 Bat Chats and the 3 IS-7s that they did from this spawn in round 1. Panzer, representing the Axis forces, in the blue on the right, is coming out with an Object 430, an Object 140, 3 E5s, and 2 Chieftains. Fame going straight into the gully here with their IS-7s, sending their light tank to do the scouting in the middle, and their bat chats around the outside dunes. Panzer taking the upper ground again, high ground. Now I see a lot of these top gold teams just avoiding that upper ground. They don't like the battle up there as much as they do from the dunes and from that trench line. Expected pain. Should be expecting some pain here. He's gonna find himself caught if he doesn't start running. There's 4 fast Fame tanks moving in his direction, and he's in the crossfire from the 3 over there. The 3 heavies in the center.
It's like a storm.
He's undetected. He's lucky he got to sneak away undetected there, because those IS-7s could have punished him if he was detected during that cross. Rex has got to be careful how far he moves up too, because he could lose his escape route pretty quickly here. Him and Payne are caught a little bit between the crossfire here with no escape route. The E5s and the Chieftain for Panzer are sitting back here on this dune ridgeline, and they're not going to be able to give as much support fire to the Russian mediums that I think they're going to need. What do you think, Vanilla? Do you think they might be trapped a little bit?
I think it's weird that Panzer looked like they were going to apply the cap pressure, but Fame was pretty quick to rotate around and kind of stole the cap from them. But yeah, I think now that they have to make a whole new plan.
Fame has rotated the IS-7s to the trench, coming back up to here, and Panzer has rotated to this side, so we've got a heavy battle in the trenches here.
Killed himself.
Oh, Cruz killed himself. Where was that? I missed it. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Rip.
Oh, he's down here. Oh.
So Panzer goes up the first tank, and they have quite a big health advantage right now. They're converging in on the 3 heavies here. These IS-7s have 3 tanks on their left to contend with, and 3 right in front of them. Clutch Force is trying to come around and turn some heads. Fame also has the Bat Chats wheeling in from the south. They're going to start putting cover fire in. Magna Flashboy and Mr. APCR down to half health. If Panzer can coordinate focus fire on one of those tanks and take them out, they'll have double the guns in the trench here. They're still leading the damage spread, and they are up an extra gun due to Sergeant Cruz committing suicide.
This tragic incident. Definitely know I can't be too happy about that. Oh, that shot's gonna take out this 140.
Kellen Martin getting rear shots on the trench here, but Panzer turns around, addresses him, and takes him down. Fame has taken out 2 Panzer tanks real quickly and even the gun advantage up. It says 2-1 at the top, but there's 1 extra gun gone for Fame.
Magna's trying to get out of there because he knows he's a one shot.
So you got Magna Flashboy trying to come up over here on the ridge. Keep in mind, if off screen here, V-Tanker in the bat chat is back here, putting in shots.
He's watching over Magna.
Yeah. Magna's coming in, puts a shot on Mage. Mage and Murder wanted to push on Magna, but realized they're getting shot from the back as well.
Ooh.
Fame has
They're
turned this
just gonna
game
full on
around.
brawl.
Yeah, and it's they bled the Panzer tanks one by one enough that they pulled the advantage back into their favor.
They really did.
Fame coming out with 3,500 damage dealt by Kellen Martin, 3,500 damage dealt by a Clutch Force, just shy of 3,000 by Parco, and the rest, other than V-Tanker, not really hitting any high numbers. Over on the Panzer side, Mage getting 2,400 leading his team, and Murder just shy of
That was the
2,000.
final one, wasn't it?
That was the third one by my count. We have one
Third
more
one?
to go.
Okay.
Speaking of that, there is 4 points for Panzer for the 2 kills, and 20 points for the victory for Fame, 14 points for the kills, the 7 kills for Fame, and an extra 5 to make 39 total for the round for Fame. Doing the giveaway here real quickly. So this is the final round, getting set up for Panzer versus Fame. This is Clan Wars Frontlines Operation Torch. It's the second week of Clan Wars and the second day of the second weekend.
10 seconds.
All right. All right, so we've got Panzer on the left, Fame on the right. Panzer representing the Axis forces, coming out with a Centurion Action X, a Bat Chat, 2 E5s, and 3 Chieftains. Fame representing the Allied forces on the right in blue, coming out with the T100, the triple Bat Chats, and the triple IS-7s. They've really favored that lineup, and I like it myself. Good combination of speed, burst fire, and super heavy. The IS-7 is one of the faster super heavies, probably the fastest super heavy, so it doesn't lag behind too far. And the Bat Chats are always a great tank to use. The burst fire, the speed, the mobility.
Yep.
Fame taking the position just below the cap in the trench. very popular gold team strategy that we've seen as of late. Setting up the bat chats here, though, that's a little bit new. It's clearly an
Yeah, they're
ambush
just kind of
tactic.
waiting.
What do you think their plan is when they figure out where
I think
Panzer
they're
is?
just waiting to swoop in. They just kind of keep them hidden in the back. You know, I think they know they're up there hiding in the hills, so I'd apply cap pressure and bring them on out.
Panzer hasn't moved from the hills. They've shown that they will be patient enough to stay in their position. But Fame is clearly just as patient. They haven't moved. The IS-7s have crept forward enough to touch that cap, and that's why, you know, the gold teams really like this position, because if you're not going to come at them, if you're, you know, they just creep forward, touch the cap, and it's like, okay, now what are you going to do? You just going to let the game end? Flash Boy positioned. He replaced Clutch Force in the T100. Clutch Force was in the T100 for the first couple matches. Now it's Magna Flash Boy. He's positioned over here, so if any of the Panzer tanks come off the hill to the south, he'll detect them. And the Batchats, of course, are positioned on the other side. So no matter which way Panzer comes off this hill, Fame will see it.
Yep, they're really spread out good to catch all the mountain activities.
Now we know Fame's just going to sit still. They're not going to move. But what's Panzer going to do? Do you think this is actually going to end in a 7-7, like all 7 tanks remaining, 100%?
They're not moving.
Panzer has no intention to move. They're calling out Fame's bluff. Yeah, Fame gets off the cap. So Panzer has totally called Fame's bluff on the cap.
Yep, making them come to the hills.
I wasn't sure myself if Fame was just going to say, let's end this. We've gotten, you know.
Yeah.
They're, in all fairness,
getting
they're
nervous.
2 points shy of being perfect in this matchup. They got perfect in the first 2 rounds and 2 points shy of it in the second round, in the third round, sorry. So they really could have afforded to take the cap win for 27 points, 20 plus 7 remaining tanks. But Fame wants the maximum points. They want to put themselves at the top of the leaderboard. Flash Boy climbing the rocks, climbing the hills, trying to creep forward to get the spots on the Panzer's team up top. Imagine finding himself getting crossfired as he retreats off the hill. He gets focused out first, so down goes the first tank for Panzer. Dang, the Flash Boy getting really close up in here, but the way this hill is sloped, and
yeah,
they really can't hit him. You know, from the sky cam, from the spectator view, sometimes you wonder why certain tanks aren't being shot, and when you go down in, you can see there's absolutely no shot on Magna Flash Boy. It's a great position. He's able to detect the Panzer team for Fame as they push forward, and it makes Panzer back up and keep their heads down while Fame moves in on them. Panzer set up one of their E5s here to cover the rear. I'm pretty sure, even though they don't detect him yet, they're aware that those bad chats are coming. He might not know when or how many, but he's got to know that something's coming. Murder comes to support the E5, El Carino, but the bad shots just fade away. They pull him off the hill. That's all they needed to do. They didn't need to kill him. They just needed to take their gun out of the game. So now it's an overmatch up here for the rest of Fame. 4v3. They're going to take out the Action X first. Focus fire him. Ooh, Parko just misses.
I hope the chieftain and E5 don't go chasing those bad chats, and I think that's what they're trying to do is get them to come out in the open and just circle them.
Well, they started to come down, and they stopped, and it's just taken them too long to get back up. So whether they fully committed or not, in the meantime, Fame has pounced on all of the heavies up top that Murder and El
And here comes
Reno
the
have
bad
left
chat.
behind. Now the bad chats come back, like you say, and it's just going to be a focus fire one by one. Down goes the first one, and
their focus fire is awesome.
all right. So, Fame having another perfect round, so it was worth it for them to go after those kills. They would have ended with 27 points had they cap won it. They decided to go for the full points of 41. So total score for Fame 162 and 4 for Panzer. Now, disclaimer, this is my little tally scored during this stream. It's not the official score. Official scores may be different. I may have made mistakes. That's, fair disclaimer. So
It's just a good estimate.
yeah, I'm fairly, fairly confident in my numbers, but I am not official scorekeeper, so you can't say, well, Weasel said my score was, you know. So the Fame team coming out with a pretty good damage spread as always. Everyone putting in the damage for Fame. Panzer just finding themselves up against a team that, I mean, unfortunately outmatched them. Fame, there's some teams that are just on a complete another level, and you know, it's very intimidating to play against them. So with that, we'll get ready for the next match.